What if I told you that one of the greatest survival experts on Earth isn't a lion? It isn't a wolf. It isn't a tiger. It isn't even one of the strongest animals alive. Instead, it's an animal that weighs less than a medium-sized dog. An animal so ordinary that millions of people barely notice it. And yet, this creature has quietly outsmarted predators, hunters, cities, deserts, frozen wastelands, and even humans. For thousands of years, people have called the fox a liar, a thief, a trickster, a symbol of deception. Stories from Europe described it as the clever criminal of the forest. Ancient Japanese legends believed foxes could deceive entire villages. In many cultures, they weren't just animals. They were supernatural beings. But here's the strange part. The real fox may be even more unbelievable than the myths. Scientists have discovered that foxes solve problems in ways many wild animals simply cannot. They remember, they observe, they wait, they learn, and perhaps most surprisingly, they change. Not over millions of years through evolution, sometimes within a single lifetime. Imagine living in a frozen Arctic where winter lasts almost the entire year. Now imagine the exact same kind of animal surviving under a burning desert sun, where temperatures can melt the sand beneath your feet. Impossible? The fox does both. Some foxes hear prey moving beneath nearly half a meter of snow. Others survive months without seeing flowing water. Some raise their families high in remote mountains. Others raise them beneath abandoned buildings in the middle of crowded cities. While humans sleep, foxes are already studying the world around them. Every sound, every smell, every movement, nothing escapes their attention. They don't rush. They don't waste energy. They don't fight unless absolutely necessary. Instead, they calculate. A hungry wolf may rely on power. A bear depends on strength. A leopard trusts speed. The fox relies on something much rarer, information. It knows when to appear, when to disappear, when to attack, and when simply waiting is the smartest decision. This tiny predator has learned to survive alongside animals far stronger than itself. It steals food from larger predators without being caught. It escapes eagles falling from the sky. It avoids wolves capable of killing it within seconds. It lives close to humans, yet often remains completely invisible. In many cities, thousands of foxes walk the streets every single night. They pass houses, schools, hospitals, roads, security cameras. Sometimes they even watch people, without those people ever realizing they were being watched. But perhaps the greatest mystery isn't how foxes survive. It's why they continue to succeed almost everywhere humans expand. Most wild animals disappear when forests become cities. Foxes move in. Most predators fear civilization. Foxes learn to use it. Garbage becomes food. Railways become safe paths. Parks become hunting grounds. Even traffic lights have changed the way some urban foxes move through cities. This isn't instinct alone, it's adaptation. And adaptation is one of the most powerful forces in nature. Every generation becomes slightly better at understanding the world around it. Every mistake teaches a lesson. Every successful hunt creates experience. Every narrow escape becomes knowledge. Perhaps this explains why foxes have survived ice ages, mass extinctions, the spread of humanity, and environments that would destroy countless other species. But survival is only the beginning of their story, because hidden behind those bright eyes, that silent walk, and that beautiful orange fur, is a mind far more complex than most people imagine. A mind capable of patience, planning, communication, curiosity, even play. The deeper scientists look into the lives of foxes, the more surprising discoveries they make. And every new discovery raises an even bigger question. Have we underestimated one of Earth's greatest survivors for thousands of years? Today, we're going to uncover the hidden world of foxes. We'll explore how they hunt without being seen, how they hear what other animals cannot, how they raise their families, how they survive where almost nothing else can, why ancient civilizations feared them, why modern scientists admire them, and why this seemingly ordinary animal may actually be one of the greatest masters of survival our planet has ever created. Because once you truly understand the fox, you'll never look at one the same way again. Long before humans built cities, before roads divided forests, before farms replaced endless grasslands, foxes were already here. They watched mammoths cross frozen plains. They survived brutal ice ages that wiped out countless species. They adapted as climates changed, continents transformed, and ecosystems disappeared, while enormous predators vanished forever. The fox remained. That alone raises an extraordinary question. Why? Why did an animal with no incredible strength, no massive claws, no thick armor, no overwhelming speed, outlive so many creatures that seemed far better equipped for survival? Nature is usually unforgiving. The weak disappear. The slow are hunted. The careless starve. Yet foxes have managed to survive for hundreds of thousands of years by following a completely different strategy. Instead of becoming stronger, they became smarter. Instead of controlling nature, they learned to cooperate with it. Instead of fighting every battle, they carefully chose which battles were worth fighting. This philosophy has made foxes one of the most successful wild mammals on Earth. Today, members of the fox family can be found across Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, and even the harshest regions of the Arctic. Very few wild predators have spread across so many completely different environments. I think about that for a moment. The same family of animals survives in deserts, where temperatures rise above 45 degrees Celsius, and also in Arctic regions where winter temperatures can fall below -50. Most animals specialize in one habitat. Foxes specialize in adaptation itself. Perhaps the most famous member is the red fox. Its scientific name is Vulpes vulpes. It is the most widespread wild carnivore on Earth. Scientists estimate that red foxes occupy millions of square kilometers across dozens of countries. But despite being so common, their lives remain surprisingly mysterious. Most people have seen a fox only for a few seconds, usually crossing a road at night, running through a field, or disappearing into tall grass before anyone can get a closer look. That brief encounter creates the illusion that foxes are always alone, always wandering, always hiding. Reality is much more fascinating. A fox knows every corner of its territory, every tree, every hole, every safe escape route, every dangerous location. It carries an invisible mental map far more detailed than most people imagine. Some territories stretch only a few square kilometers. Others become much larger when food is scarce. The fox constantly updates this map. If a new road appears, it learns it. If humans begin visiting a forest more often, it changes its schedule. If another predator enters its territory, it adjusts immediately. Nothing stays the same. Neither does the fox. This flexibility explains something scientists have observed again and again. Fox populations often recover surprisingly quickly after environmental disasters, where many animals struggle. Foxes begin exploring, searching, learning, adapting. But adaptation comes with another remarkable ability. Foxes rarely waste energy. Every movement has a purpose. Unlike animals that chase prey over long distances, foxes often spend long periods simply watching, listening, waiting. Patience is one of their greatest weapons. Hours may pass without movement. Then suddenly, everything changes in a single second. That patient lifestyle also helps them survive periods of food shortage. Foxes are opportunists. If mice become rare, they hunt rabbits. If rabbits disappear, they eat insects, bird eggs, fruit, berries, fish, crabs, even discarded human food. Few predators possess such dietary flexibility. This is one reason foxes have successfully entered cities around the world. To humans, cities are concrete. To foxes, cities are new ecosystems. Parks become forests. Railway lines become travel corridors. Backyards become feeding grounds. Storm drains become safe hiding places. Every human structure becomes another opportunity. Scientists studying urban foxes discovered something remarkable. Many city foxes are less afraid of traffic than rural foxes, not because they are reckless, but because they learn patterns. They begin recognizing periods of heavy traffic, quiet hours, human routines. They adjust their lives accordingly. In many neighborhoods, foxes know exactly when restaurants throw away food. They know when parks become empty. They even recognize which streets remain peaceful after midnight. This isn't luck, it's learning. And learning is one of the reasons foxes continue expanding into places where larger predators fail. Still, none of these abilities would matter without one extraordinary sense, a sense so powerful that imagine standing alone in the middle of a frozen field. Everything is silent, no movement, no footprints, no sound. Beneath your feet lies a thick blanket of snow. To you, the landscape appears completely lifeless. But to a fox, the ground is alive. Somewhere beneath nearly half a meter of snow, a tiny mouse takes a single step. Its claws gently scrape against frozen grass. Its heartbeat quickens. It pauses for only a moment. That tiny sound, so faint that no human could ever hear it, travels upward through layers of snow and frozen air, and the fox hears it, not approximately, not by chance. It knows almost exactly where that mouse is hiding. Within seconds, the fox slowly lowers its body. Its ears rotate independently. Its eyes remain locked on an empty patch of snow. Nothing appears unusual, yet inside the fox's mind, an invisible map is forming. Every tiny sound becomes information. Every vibration becomes a clue. Every movement beneath the snow creates a picture no human can see. Then, without warning, the fox leaps. Its body rises high into the air. It dives headfirst into the snow for one brief second. The entire animal disappears beneath the frozen surface. Silence returns. Then, its head emerges. A mouse hangs between its jaws. Scientists call this behavior mousing. It has become one of the most recognizable hunting techniques in the animal kingdom. But the real mystery isn't the jump. It's everything that happens before it. Researchers studying fox hearing discovered that foxes can detect extremely faint sounds with astonishing precision. Their large triangular ears don't simply make sounds louder. They help determine exactly where sound comes from. Even the smallest difference in the time sound reaches each ear allows the fox's brain to calculate direction almost instantly. While humans often rely heavily on vision, foxes trust sound, especially at night. Especially in snow, especially when nothing can be seen. Their hearing is so refined that they often locate prey without ever seeing it. A mouse beneath leaves, a rabbit hidden inside dense grass, a bird moving inside a bush. The fox already knows they are there. But hearing alone doesn't explain everything. One question continued to puzzle scientists for years. Why do foxes often jump toward prey from almost the exact same direction? Again, and again, and again, even when other angles appeared easier. For a long time, no one understood. Then researchers proposed a fascinating possibility. Some studies suggest that foxes may use Earth's magnetic field as an additional guide while hunting. Just as certain birds use magnetism during migration, foxes might combine magnetic information with hearing to improve the accuracy of their attacks. The idea remains an active area of scientific research, and scientists continue to investigate exactly how important this effect is. If true, it would mean that every successful leap isn't guided only by sharp ears, but also by one of the invisible forces surrounding our planet. Imagine that, a hunter using sounds, memory, experience, and perhaps even Earth's magnetic field, all within a single attack lasting less than 2 seconds. No wonder their hunting success surprises researchers. Yet hearing isn't useful only for finding food. It also saves lives. A fox constantly listens for danger, the wing beats of an eagle, the footsteps of a wolf, branches breaking beneath an approaching human, a distant dog barking. Long before danger becomes visible, the fox is already making decisions. Stay hidden, run, freeze completely. Every second matters. Sometimes, doing absolutely nothing is the smartest choice. Many predators search for movement. A motionless fox becomes almost invisible. Its reddish coat blends with autumn forests. Its gray winter colors disappear among rocks and dry grass. Combined with extraordinary hearing, camouflage turns the fox into a ghost. You may walk within a few meters of one and never know it was there. Scientists using hidden cameras have repeatedly recorded foxes watching hikers pass by without moving a single muscle. The people leave. The fox quietly continues its journey, unknown, unnoticed, uncaught. But hearing has another purpose that many people rarely think about. Foxes don't only listen to prey, they listen to each other. Every bark, every scream, every short call carries meaning, a warning, a greeting, a challenge, a mother calling her young, a rival defending territory. The forest is never truly silent. It's simply speaking a language most humans cannot understand. And the fox understands every word. Because survival isn't only about finding food. Sometimes it's about communicating without ever being seen. In the next chapter, most people believe intelligence belongs only to animals that live in large groups. Wolves, dolphins, elephants, chimpanzees. The fox changes that assumption. Unlike wolves, foxes often spend much of their lives alone. There is no large pack constantly protecting them, no powerful leader making decisions, no army to help them hunt. Every choice, every mistake, every success belongs to one animal, the fox. Living alone creates a problem. There is no room for failure. One bad decision can mean starvation. One careless movement can attract a predator. One wrong hiding place can cost an entire family. So instead of relying on strength, the fox relies on something much more valuable, its brain. Scientists studying fox behavior have repeatedly observed something remarkable. Foxes don't simply react, they evaluate. Before entering an unfamiliar area, they often stop, sometimes for several minutes. They scan every direction, they smell the air, they listen. Only after gathering enough information do they continue. To an impatient observer, this looks like hesitation, but it isn't. It's calculation. Every movement is weighed against risk. A fox would rather lose an opportunity than lose its life. This cautious mindset explains why foxes survive where many predators disappear. Researchers have also noticed that foxes quickly recognize patterns. If a farmer feeds chickens every evening, the fox remembers. If a dog patrols a certain field every morning, the fox adjusts its route. If a road becomes busy after sunrise, the fox begins crossing before dawn. These aren't random habits, they're learned behaviors. Memory plays a crucial role in the fox's survival. A single fox may remember dozens of food caches scattered across its territory, small pieces of food buried under leaves, beneath loose soil, or hidden among rocks. Weeks later, it can return to many of those exact locations. Its memory becomes an invisible map stretching across forests, fields, and even cities. But perhaps the most surprising discovery comes from urban foxes. Scientists monitoring foxes in large cities noticed something extraordinary. Young foxes raised in cities behave differently from those raised in remote forests. They become bolder, more curious, better at solving problems created by humans. Some learn which neighborhoods are quiet. Others avoid streets with heavy traffic. Many recognize regular human routines. They aren't simply surviving in cities, they're learning how cities work. This ability to adapt has turned foxes into one of the few wild predators capable of thriving alongside millions of people. Yet, intelligence alone isn't enough. A clever animal that cannot control itself rarely survives for long. Foxes possess another powerful advantage: patience. Watch a hunting fox carefully. It doesn't charge blindly, it doesn't panic. When prey disappears, it waits, sometimes for minutes, sometimes much longer. It understands that the right moment is often more valuable than speed, that patience appears even during play. Young fox kits spend countless hours chasing one another, jumping, pretending to hunt, stealing sticks, and wrestling. At first glance, it looks like simple fun. In reality, they are training. Every playful attack improves balance. Every chase sharpens reflexes. Every mistake teaches control. Play is practice, and practice becomes survival. Perhaps this is why foxes appear almost effortless when they hunt as adults. Years of learning are hidden behind every graceful movement. The fox doesn't become skilled overnight. It earns every instinct through experience. The more scientists study foxes, the clearer one truth becomes. They are not surviving because nature made life easy for them. They are surviving because they never stop learning, and in a world that changes every day, the animals willing to learn are often the ones that endure the longest. But intelligence reaches its highest level when it is combined with communication, because even an animal that usually lives alone still has a family to protect, and the language foxes use with one another is far richer than most people could ever imagine. If a lion hunts, the entire savanna knows. When wolves chase their prey, the forest erupts with noise. When an eagle attacks, every bird suddenly takes flight. But when a fox hunts, the world often remains completely silent. That silence is not an accident. It is one of the fox's greatest weapons. Unlike many predators that depend on speed or overwhelming strength, foxes rely on something much more effective. They make sure their prey never realizes it is being hunted. Every successful hunt begins long before the fox takes its first step, hours before sunrise, or deep into the darkness of night. A fox quietly leaves its den. There is no rush, no random wandering, no wasted movement. Its route has already been planned. Every tree, every bush, every fallen tree, every narrow path has been memorized from countless previous journeys. The fox already knows where rabbits usually feed, where mice build tunnels, where birds search for insects, where danger is most likely to appear. It walks with astonishing precision, one paw after another, softly, carefully. Its thick fur muffles sound. Its padded feet barely disturb the ground. Even dry leaves make surprisingly little noise beneath its weight. This allows the fox to move through forests almost like a shadow. Researchers using thermal cameras have filmed foxes passing within only a few meters of wild rabbits. The rabbits never reacted. They never realized death had come so close. The fox wasn't invisible. It was simply undetectable. But hunting is not always about movement. Sometimes, the greatest hunter is the one willing to stop. A fox may stand completely motionless for several minutes, its body frozen, its breathing slow, its ears constantly rotating. To another animal, it appears to be nothing more than part of the landscape. Yet inside the fox's mind, thousands of tiny details are being processed. A faint scratching sound beneath the grass, the direction of the wind, the scent of fresh earth, the distant cry of another predator. Every clue matters. Every clue changes the plan. This patience separates foxes from many larger hunters. They don't chase every opportunity. They wait for the right one. Then comes one of nature's most spectacular attacks, the famous fox leap. After locating a mouse hidden beneath deep snow or thick grass, the fox slowly lowers its head. Its muscles tighten. Its ears make tiny adjustments. For several seconds, nothing happens. Then suddenly, it launches itself high into the air. Instead of jumping forward, it often jumps almost vertically. Its body forms a graceful arc. For one breathtaking moment, it appears suspended against the sky. Then gravity takes over. The fox dives headfirst into the snow. Its front legs disappear. Its nose breaks through the frozen surface, and almost instantly, it emerges, holding its prey. The entire hunt lasts only a few seconds, yet those few seconds are the result of years of experience. Thousands of failed attempts, thousands of successful ones. Every leap teaches the fox something new, but mice are only part of its menu. Foxes are among nature's greatest opportunists. When rabbits are plentiful, they hunt rabbits. When birds become easier to catch, they switch to birds. They eat insects, frogs, fish, berries, fallen fruit, crabs, lizards, and even earthworms when food is scarce. Few predators possess such flexibility. This ability allows foxes to survive seasons that would starve many specialized hunters. Winter arrives. The prey changes. The fox changes with it. Summer returns. The menu changes again. So does the fox. Adaptation is not something it does once. It is something it practices every single day. Perhaps the most astonishing hunts happen in places where humans least expect them. Cities, at first glance, urban environments seem completely unsuitable for wild predators. Bright lights, moving cars, thousands of people, constant noise. Yet foxes have transformed cities into hunting grounds. Parks become forests. Gardens become feeding areas. Railway tracks become hidden highways. Foxes quietly patrol neighborhoods while entire streets sleep. Many city residents never realize that only a few hours before sunrise, a wild predator walked past their front door. Not searching for people, searching for opportunity. An opportunity exists everywhere. A forgotten sandwich, a careless rat, an injured pigeon. Nature adapts, and so does the fox. Scientists studying urban foxes often describe them as problem solvers rather than simple hunters. Every obstacle becomes a puzzle. Every new environment becomes another lesson. Perhaps that is why foxes continue succeeding where so many animals fail. They do not force nature to fit their needs. For thousands of years, humans believed that building cities meant pushing nature away. Forests disappeared, roads replaced animal trails, concrete covered rivers and fields. The louder our world became, the quieter the wild seemed. Most large predators vanished. Bears retreated into remote mountains. Wolves avoided crowded settlements. Big cats disappeared almost entirely from human civilization. It looked as though humanity had finally won. But one animal never accepted that rule: the fox. Instead of escaping our cities, it walked straight into them. And perhaps the strangest part is this: millions of people live alongside foxes, every single day, without ever realizing it. As the last lights turn off, a second city awakens, a hidden city, invisible to almost everyone. Foxes emerge from beneath abandoned sheds, railway embankments, overgrown parks, cemeteries, industrial areas, and quiet neighborhoods. They move through streets with astonishing confidence, not because they are fearless, because they understand us. Scientists studying urban foxes discovered something extraordinary. Foxes don't simply tolerate human behavior, they learn it. Over time, they memorize our routines almost as accurately as we do. They know when neighborhoods become quiet. They know when restaurants throw away food. They know when dogs are usually indoors. They know when traffic begins, and when it finally disappears before dawn. Some foxes even change the exact time they hunt, depending on the season, because human schedules change too. This isn't instinct, it's observation. Imagine trying to survive in a city where giant machines race through the streets every second, where lights suddenly appear, doors open unexpectedly, and thousands of unpredictable creatures surround you. For many animals, that environment would be impossible. For a fox, it's another puzzle waiting to be solved. Researchers have watched foxes stand beside busy roads for several minutes, not because they were afraid, but because they were waiting for the safest moment to cross. Some individuals repeatedly use the same crossing, the same narrow gaps, the same hidden paths, night after night. They aren't wandering, they're commuting. Many urban foxes maintain routes so consistent that scientists can predict exactly where an individual will appear on a given evening. Their city becomes a mental map. Every alley, every fence, every garden, every shortcut, every source of food, every place where danger hides. One remarkable study found that foxes can remember hundreds of locations across their territory, not only where food exists, but where food might appear in the future. A bakery, a market, a public park after a weekend picnic, an apartment complex where people often leave scraps outside. The fox doesn't think of these places as random opportunities. It recognizes patterns, and patterns create survival. But perhaps their greatest achievement is something even more impressive. Foxes have learned how to become invisible, not physically, behaviorally. Most city foxes avoid direct contact with humans. They move through shadows. They freeze when lights appear. They quietly disappear before people notice them. You may have walked within a few meters of a fox while checking your phone, completely unaware that a wild predator was watching you from behind a parked car. Thermal cameras reveal an entirely different reality. While streets appear empty, foxes are everywhere, crossing sidewalks, climbing walls, exploring gardens, passing schools, walking beside hospitals, moving through train stations. Entire lives unfold while humans sleep. Some foxes have even been observed using human structures in unexpected ways. Storm drains become tunnels. Railway embankments become highways. Abandoned buildings become safe dens. Backyards become nurseries. Cities were never designed for foxes. Yet foxes redesigned the city in their own minds. Of course, urban life isn't without danger. Cars remain one of their greatest threats. Disease spreads more easily where populations become dense. Competition between foxes increases. Humans are unpredictable. Dogs can still kill them. Every night carries enormous risk. Yet, generation after generation, foxes continue adapting. Young foxes born in cities often grow up behaving differently from foxes born deep inside forests. They become more curious, less fearful of unfamiliar objects, faster at solving new problems, not because they are a different species, but because they inherit an environment that constantly rewards learning. Evolution is slow, learning is immediate, and foxes excel at both. Perhaps this explains why, despite centuries of urban expansion, every great survivor has a beginning. For the fox, it begins underground, hidden beneath tree roots, inside abandoned badger burrows, between massive rocks, or deep beneath thick vegetation. A quiet world exists that almost no human will ever see. This is where the next generation of foxes enters the world, far away from danger, far away from predators, protected by darkness. A newborn fox kit is incredibly fragile. It weighs only a few hundred grams. Its eyes remain closed. Its ears cannot yet hear clearly. Its tiny body is almost completely helpless. If left alone, it would not survive even a single day. Everything depends on one individual, its mother, for the first weeks of life. She rarely leaves the den. Her entire world becomes her young. She keeps them warm, cleans them, feeds them, protects them, every hour, every day, every night. Meanwhile, another story unfolds outside. The father becomes the family's provider. While the mother guards the den, he quietly disappears into forests, fields, or city parks, searching for food. Every successful hunt is carried back home, sometimes several times in a single night. If he fails, the entire family feels the consequences. This partnership is one of the reasons foxes are such successful parents. Unlike many animals where one parent disappears after reproduction, fox families often depend on cooperation. Each adult has a role. Each role matters. As the weeks pass, something magical begins to happen. The kits open their eyes. For the first time, they see the world waiting outside. Everything is new. Every sound, every smell, every shadow. Curiosity quickly replaces fear. The entrance to the den becomes their playground. Tiny paws chase falling leaves. Brothers wrestle with sisters. Small sticks become imaginary prey. At first, it looks like simple play, but nature rarely wastes energy. Every game has a purpose. Every playful attack teaches balance. Every chase improves speed. Every tumble strengthens muscles. Every failed pounce becomes tomorrow's lesson. Scientists call this developmental play. Without realizing it, young foxes are preparing for adulthood. The forest becomes their classroom, and every day, the lessons become harder. The mother begins introducing new challenges. She doesn't simply feed her young forever. Instead, she slowly encourages independence. Researchers have observed adult foxes bringing injured or even live prey back to the den. At first glance, this seems cruel. In reality, it is one of nature's greatest teaching methods. The prey escapes. The kits chase it. They fail. They try again. They miss. They learn. One successful capture today could mean survival months later. The parents rarely interfere. Mistakes are part of the lesson, because in the wild, failure inside the safety of the den is far less dangerous than failure alone. As the kits grow, their personalities begin to emerge. Some become bold explorers, the first to leave the den, the first to investigate strange sounds. Others remain cautious, watching from a distance, learning by observation rather than action. Neither strategy is wrong. Nature rewards different personalities under different conditions. One fox survives through courage, another survives through patience. Both may live long lives. Communication within the family also becomes increasingly sophisticated. The adults use short barks, soft whines, body postures, and tail movements to guide their young. The kits quickly learn which sounds signal danger, which call them home, and which mean food has arrived. Without understanding this language, they would not survive. Yet perhaps the greatest lesson parents teach is not the hunting, it is caution. A fox that trusts everything dies young. The adults constantly demonstrate when to freeze, when to hide, and when to run. The kits copy every movement, every reaction, every decision. They are not just learning how to find food, they are learning how to stay alive. But childhood cannot last forever. As summer fades, the young foxes grow stronger, more confident, more independent. Soon, the den that once protected them becomes too small. One by one, they begin leaving. Some travel only a few kilometers. Others may journey dozens, even hundreds of kilometers in search of empty territory. Their parents cannot follow. Their teachers cannot protect them. For the first time, every decision becomes their own. Some will succeed. Some will disappear before winter arrives. Nature offers no guarantees, only opportunities. And those opportunities belong to the foxes that remember everything they were taught, because the greatest inheritance a fox receives is not its territory, not its den, not even its food. The fox never became the strongest animal. It became one of the smartest. In nature, survival doesn't always belong to the powerful. It belongs to those who can adapt. And no animal proves that better than the fox. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more incredible wildlife documentaries.